Hey, this is a video diary of some work that we did, laying roof tiles on the scaffold, stairwell scaffold. It's not a stairwell yet. It's gonna be a stairwell, so right now it's just a scaffold to the clock tower at the Fortified Church in Magarei, also known as Pelişor in Romanian, the village where we've taken over the conservation and the restoration of the Fortified Church, Kirchenburg, and the parochial house, the Pfarrhaus over there, the Sachsen, Kirchenburg and Pfarrhaus, in that Sachsen village. Now this work that we did this month is a continuation of the work that happened there this summer, where we had a hands-on workshop that taught timber framing. It involved the reconstruction of the historical scaffold or the stairwell to the clock tower, and that was about a 2-week, not about, but exactly a 2-week course taught by master carpenters, two of them, Sebastian Bethke and Christian Raoul, both of them German, who are now living in Romania and helping to restore Sachsen buildings. So they taught the course, and the workshop was sponsored in part by the Prince of Wales Foundation and the Order of Romanian Architects. Now during that workshop we had volunteers from Romania and from Germany, I believe, as well, but they didn't get a chance to finish that scaffold, so the roof tiles were not set. It wasn't covered. There were still some nails to be driven in, holes to be bored or drilled, and wooden nails to be driven in to hold the structure together. And the structure also needs to be affixed to the clock tower itself, to the wall of it, just to make sure that it's both supporting the tower and the tower is helping it stay upright. So, you know, two things holding themselves together is better than two things just sort of laying side by side, but each subject to forces on its own. And then during this portion of the work, what we did is we drove in the wooden nails. So we drilled the holes and we drove in the wooden nails and we laid the roof tiles. The affixing part of the process, I want some experts there for it, because it is a bit involved, and that's going to happen, I hope, in January after the holidays. It was supposed to happen now, but we couldn't get the people there in time. They were pulled away on an urgent intervention to another fortified church where the roof had caved in, I believe. So we couldn't get them to help us, and that portion of the work will have to wait till after New Year's. We'll see when it happens. I have to wait on people who know what they're doing. I don't want to. I mean, I'm okay chipping in and doing work where I kind of know what I'm doing. Although you'll see from the video that I'm not an expert in roofing. I just kind of get by. So for portions of the work where I'm not comfortable doing the work and I want to make sure that it gets done right, I call in the experts and I have to wait till they get there. So coming back to the work that we did, you'll see that we started laying the roof tiles from the top of the roof to the bottom of the roof. That's not how it's typically done. They're typically laid from the bottom up, and that's because you've got to distance them or keep a certain distance between the last. Yeah, I'm really bad with terms. So the last transverse rafters that hold the roof tiles that sit at the edge of the roof, the very bottom of the roof, and the drain pipe, or rather, no, not the drain pipe. In order for the drain pipe to fit in, you have to keep a certain distance from that last piece to the edge of the roof tile, and that distance, as I understand it, is about 8 centimeters. And then you start up from that and you lay them at the distance that's proper in order for them to sit on top of each other and provide proper covering for the roof. And that differs for each type of roof tile that you use. You have to either speak to the manufacturer, or in this case, where the manufacturer is long gone, because these are antique vintage roof tiles that we recovered from other building sites. You kind of lay them on top of each other, and as long as they cross over or they overlap by half, each one on top of each other, then you're fine. In our case, it was 14 centimeters, the distance that they needed to be apart, in order for them to overlap properly. So you'll see that difference in technique. The angle of the roof was also quite steep, and I was kind of afraid to start from the bottom and have to work only from the roof. There was also scaffolding already present, and I figured, you know what, let's just use the existing scaffolding and work down from the top, and it's going to be a little safer than starting from the bottom and having to walk up on the roof all the time. And I know we could have used a harness. I have a harness. I have two of them actually. But I felt safer working from the scaffold. So that's what we did. It was a little harder to lay the roof tiles, but we got it done. So enough talking. This is way more talking than I'm comfortable doing. Let me show you the work. So this is it. We put a plastic foil up there just as a makeshift thing. We didn't think it was going to take this long to get to it, but emergencies always arise when you're dealing with old buildings, and we are just now getting to this. Well, the plastic foil did its job. The wood isn't completely drenched, so that's good. It's actually quite dry. It's just a few places where water seeped in, but that's fine. So we've got the roof tiles over here all laid out. They're ready to go. I'm glad that we have a chance to work on this before the snow comes in, because it would be it wouldn't be so much fun to be up there on the roof laying roof tiles when it's snowing or blowing a really chilly winter wind. The temperatures are above 0 degrees Celsius this week, so that's pretty good. It's okay. I'll take it. We can do the work in these conditions. It's fine. Right. So I'll add a few more sections to this video as the work progresses. We're just getting started today. It's going to take a bit. Gorgeous weather, you see. Lovely winter day. Sunny winter day. That's the village down there. And we're up here doing the work. The roof tiles are down there. Hopefully we get down with the ladder, not with gravity. And this is how we're working here. We've got these little planks traversing the distance between the scaffolding. Okie doke, back to work. Right, so we've started laying the roof tile. That's how it looks so far. There will be eventually some aluminum or some sort of a sheet metal flashing that will come in between the tiles and the wall of the tower. But not at the moment, because all of the sheet metal workers that I've talked with were super lazy. That's the case with most workers in Romania, unfortunately. And they're like, well, I'm too busy this autumn, I don't have time for this. So yeah, that's the situation. Right, so just wanted to point out, for those of you that maybe are not familiar with roofing techniques, the beginning planks that you lay out to sit the roof tiles on, that you have to double them up there. Otherwise, you won't get them to sit right. The first row, you won't get it to sit right. So we're coming down with them, and there's Sika. Hey, Sika. When we get down there, we'll also have to either double up the planks once again, because otherwise they won't sit right at the bottom, or we'll have to use some triangular pieces of wood to sort of throw the water flow away like this with a bit of an angle from the roof line. That's the medieval method, but I'll show you once we get down there. It's slow going, but we are making progress. And we're advancing, but it's kind of slow. That's okay. It was expected. I guess for those of you that maybe aren't familiar with roofing, this is quite simple. It's a very time-tested method, but it works well. So you make yourself a jig, or you can do it without a jig, but it's easier with a jig like this that basically spaces out the pieces that hold the roof tiles. And you put it like this, and you have to make sure that this one meets over here, right? So it's sort of like teeth that hold them in place. Once you got it there, you go for a nail and you knock it in. I'm gonna take it a little further. There we go. So right. So that's what's involved. If you want to have a look down, you see, that's why it's slow going. It's about 11 meters down, and we only have these planks to walk on. You see, like this. If we step in the wrong place, then woo, down we go. So it's slow going, but it's kind of fun. And you know, we get to do work that's gonna be around to stand the test of time. So it's kind of cool. We've advanced as far as we can advance with the current scaffold, which I guess you can call it a scaffold. It's a bit of a, I don't know if you can see it, it's shaking in the wind, but it's held us, so I'm not complaining. There's Sika. Hey, Sika. And now we've got to lower the scaffold to the next lower level so we can continue to work on the roof line here. On the rooftop, I guess is the proper word. Yeah, it's also getting close to the end of the day. You see the late afternoon sun. It's actually just gotten nice out. It's been pretty cold all day, much colder than yesterday. A bit windy and cold, but it's been fine. No frostbite yet. So now we get to go down and take the scaffold down a bit more. Today we're working on driving in the wooden nails that hold these joints together. So you see, that's one of them that we drilled a hole for and we drove it in. Those are the nails right here. roughly 26, 25 millimeters wide. Oak, nice solid oak, driven into oak, weathered oak. So you can imagine how hard this thing is to drill through. We have to pre-drill with a smaller drill and then get the bigger one, this fellow over here, 26 millimeters wide, and drill with that. And sometimes we have to use this intermediary one, or I think, oh, that one's over there. Yeah, that's 24 over there, and then go to 26 because the wood is really hard. Right, so that's what we're doing today, just putting all the final nails into the frame. And then I wanted to do that first before we continued with laying the rest of the roof tiles, because I don't want all that weight of the roof tiles on a structure that's not fully nailed. Even though it was holding together nicely, it's no problem, but I just want to be safe. So yeah, so this is the structure. This is going to be the staircase to the clock tower. Well, it is. Well, there's no stairs to it yet, but it's going to be the entrance to the clock tower. And this is how it originally looked. Well, you'll get a better sense of its shape once we pull down the scaffolding that's up there, and you know, then you'll see how it looks. And then this summer we had this workshop that I mentioned before, where a team of volunteers and experts, woodworking experts, rebuilt it with manual tools. So that was took place over the course of 2 weeks here this summer. That was very interesting. So you see, we reused old wood that could be reused, and then combined it with new wood with very interesting joints, I believe. Well, most of them are mortise and tenon. Some of them are scarf joints, like this fella over here. You see, with a central nail holding it together. I'm not sure if you can see against the sky, but there's a central nail holding the scarf joint together over there. So it's all very nice handiwork. Right. Trying to find find the central axis of the hole. This one already had a hole in it because it was an existing member of the scaffold of the structure. But this one was reused, and so we have to drill new holes through it. They carved this portion out so that this could fit right in. I think this is called tongue and groove, although I'm not sure. But yeah. Very high torque on this. I think there might be a nail inside that piece of wood. That does not sound good. Oh, it wasn't a nail. This was coming out. Okay. So, back to this. The smoke is from the wood, not the drill. Like I said, very old, very hard to drill through. It's, and now we replay. So we put the bigger drill on, the drill bit or whatever. This puppy right here. Anybody need a cavity filled? I can drill it for you. So now I've got to widen that hole to a diameter of 26 millimeters. And that's going to be fun with this very high torque drill that I'm holding. Oh man. The smoke smells wonderful, actually. It's got like a, not a cinnamon, but like a nutmeg and apple smell to it. Even though this is oak, but it smells so good. Whoa, hey now. Well, it didn't like that. Okie doke. See if you want to get the inside, it's nice and smooth. Yep. Okay, now to dry the nail in. Sika has prepped it with a bit of Vaseline so it slides in a little better. Vaseline, it's good for a lot of stuff. Yeah. So I'm gonna drive it in so that the shape of the nail leaves a rhomboid, a rhombus, I guess is the word. it looks like this. I don't want it to look like a square. I want it to look like a rhombus because I just like that better. Just aesthetic. I know I should be using a wooden hammer. I left it somewhere. Now it's time for my Mjolnir hammer, because if I knock on that too hard, I can chip the edge off it. And this is where this comes in. Done. Good. We're cutting the little pieces of wood that'll go on the end of the planks. I don't know the name for them. The things that hold the roof tiles. And we'll call them the things. It'll be a very technical term. So let me show you what the finished stuff looks like. Right here. This is what they look like. They're going to sit on those pieces of wood like this. And when the roof, the thing, right, we'll call it the thing, because that's what we decided on the name. I'll show you. When the thing comes, it's going to go like this on the end. And the roof tiles at the end are going to slope up just a bit. And that's useful because at the end of the roof, the edges are going to slope up a bit, and it's going to drive the rain towards the middle of the roof, where it's going to flow into, well, not into my drawers, but into the drain pipe, right? So that's what we're doing, and it is a bit of work, but that's what we're doing now. And these are the bigger, we'll call them things again. They sit at the edge of the roof, right? Imagine you've got a roof rafter. Do I have a rafter here? There we go, I do. Is it a rafter? Yeah, let's just call it a thing. Again, so they sit at the bottom of the roof like this. And see what happens? And so the bottom of the roof then slopes up like this a bit. And what it does is it helps to drive the rain sort of like a slide away from the roof, because if it was sloping straight down, the water would drip right down, and that's not ideal. So if it goes like this, here, let me show you. I'm going to put that up there, right? Imagine that's a roof rafter, if rafter is the word for it, and so you have the edge coming down like this, and imagine you've got the roof tiles also following the line of it like this, right? But if you put this on the end, it curves it a little bit, and it helps to drive the water further away from the edge of the roof, which is very useful when you've got a timber structure all the way down. So we only need 6 of these, which we've made. And then we need the little tiny pieces at the lateral edges of the roof. So that's what we're doing now. Hey, Sika. Right, so Sika's marked these here nicely, so I'm just going to grab one. I made a very rudimentary jig. I just care about having something to hold it against on the side here. And it's quite unpleasant to do these edge down cuts, because the wood can actually jump, but it is what it is. So there we go. Do one more on camera, because off camera we've got to do a whole bunch. So we'll do one more here. Right, so that's how we do it. What do they say on postcards? Something about having a lovely time. We are having a lovely time.
more or less. It's a rainy December day. It's the 23rd of December, actually. It's just before Christmas Eve. And we're trying to finish up this roof. We haven't got long to go, but in this rain, it's a bit difficult to work, you know, without catching pneumonia. We're trying to sort of avoid that. So, yeah, it's fun. You can see up there, well, I'm pointing with my finger away from the camera, but over there, see that? A tile has fallen down from the roof. So when we get done with it, we're gonna try to stick one back over there. The ladder reaches. I got the longest ladder available on the market on purpose, just for these sorts of operations. And the edges, they need a bit of work. We didn't actually put those shims underneath the battens, I guess you might call them, the things that are holding the roof tiles. We did put the shims on the roof gables, rafters. We'll call them rafters. At the edges, you can see down there. We put them onto there. So yeah, but we didn't get a chance to finish up the edges because it would have involved using an angle grinder, or as I call it, an ankle grinder. And we didn't. I didn't want to make a lot of dust in the rain and work with electricity in the rain, so that's gonna have to wait till spring. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine if that stays like that till spring. The only issue is, you know, falling roof tiles during higher winds, but you know, we'll replace them as needed during the winter. So yeah, that's where we are. There we go. We're going in to get some tea now. We're hoping that the rain's gonna slow down a bit till we get back here. Going down to the vicarage, the parochial house. This being the church, the Fortified church. So we're going down to the vicarage with no vicar. I guess I'm the vicar. I don't know. So yeah, we're going down and get some tea. Hopefully the rain, God, it's starting even heavier now. It's starting to get even heavier. But we're hoping that by the time the break's over, it slows down and lets us finish the work. Because tomorrow, actually tonight, it's going to freeze and it's going to snow tomorrow, and it's going to snow for the next 3 days. It's going to be a cycle of freezing and thawing during the day, and that's not going to be fun for the roof rafters to go through that cycle uncovered. Especially at the joints, you know, the mortise and tenon joints over there that are holding it together. That's not good for them. So let's hope the weather cooperates. Okay, we're done. The rain has continued. It's close to 0 degrees Celsius outside right now, so the rain is sort of starting to turn to sleet. And we kind of made a bit of a fudge over there at the end because we ran out of roof tiles that were the same kind. We're reusing old roof tiles, so we had to make do with what we had. They don't all fit at the middle, but you know what? For the winter, it's fine. We're gonna get a chance to revisit this in the spring. So yeah, we're both wet and cold, but we're done for now, for the winter. Okay, thanks for watching. See you next time, and Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.